Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about a YouTuber by the name of Jellybean. Now, you may have heard something about this situation. It's been going on for weeks now, but I kind of wanted to let everything subside a little bit before I talked about this because it was such a fluid situation. You know, there was just so much new stuff happening. There was so many developments in this entire thing that I didn't want to make like 6 videos talking about this. I wanted to do one, coherent video about the entire thing all at once and kind of talk about my opinions on it and go over everything that kind of happened, because this was a nutty situation that unfolded on YouTube, and for the most part it was entirely unnecessary to begin with. Like, we're talking about the doxing of a child, the harassment of a child on this platform, and other people as well simply didn't deserve for something like this to happen to them. So if you don't know who Jellybean is, basically it's a minor who is a shorts YouTuber here on the platform with nearly 2 million subscribers, and they essentially make YouTube shorts for children. That's the best way that I can put it. There's been some pretty controversial content that's been posted. We'll get into that here in a second. But we're talking about a creator that makes content for children. A 17-year-old girl is behind this channel, and these YouTube shorts, you know, they're made primarily for kids. There's a lot of ways that you can tell that. Number one, the comment spam trend that kind of unfolded from this whole thing. This was kind of the catalyst of this entire situation in a lot of ways. So Jellybean has been exploding on YouTube for a little while now. The YouTube shorts algorithm is a little wonky. For some people, it's extremely easy for them to blow up on YouTube by using this platform. Basically, they'll post like a 20-second YouTube short, and since it's so short, it has a lot of replayability, and it automatically loops, which means that the watch time for some of these videos can be like 200 or 300%. And if you can get a 200 or 300% watch time, that's going to make sure your content gets promoted more on YouTube. And Jellybean is one of the channels that kind of took advantage of this in order to explode using the algorithm. It's a really smart way to grow, to be honest with you. It brings in a completely new audience, and at the same time you can have another channel that's also massive if you run a normal channel like I do. So a lot of YouTube shorts creators have blown up this way by making content that's easily digestible. It's targeted to a specific audience, in this case primarily children, and from there the sky's the limit, right? So Jellybean's been blowing up and everything, and there was a situation where Jellybean basically encouraged their audience to spam a comment on a specific YouTube short that they posted, and unfortunately it got a little bit out of control. Now, you may have seen this phrase floating around on the internet in comment sections that have literally nothing to do with Jellybean in the first place. This comment says, "It's not a mistake, it's a masterpiece." Now, this was meant to be posted primarily on Jellybean's little YouTube short here, but it got spread by the audience because as much as people think that YouTubers are able to control their audiences and we're able to make sure that people don't do things like this, unfortunately, people in the audience have minds of their own and they do their own things. And even though Jellybean explicitly said to not spam this across unsuspecting YouTubers' videos and pages, people in the audience did it anyway. Now, this started to annoy a lot of people. It started getting on people's nerves, and Jellybean started receiving a lot of hate because of this whole situation. Now, I've had this comment spammed on my page before. Not a whole lot, but it's happened. And I gotta say, personally, man, I'm really not that mad about it. You know, people spam stupid things all the time, and it really isn't that deep. At the end of the day, I could really care less if this gets commented on my video, as long as it's not destroying the comment section or something, because comments boost engagement. That means my video gets shared around more. So yeah, when you comment or you like a video or you share it, that helps it spread more. And so Jellybean became like this infectious disease, gaining hundreds of thousands of subscribers while also building up like this hate list against them. Everything started to kind of culminate. There were a few more situations where basically Jellybean had to apologize for a joke that they made about straight people. And as time progressed, more and more people started getting really, really mad about this situation, and it unfortunately boiled over to the point where a 17-year-old child was repeatedly doxxed, had images of their face, images of their family's faces, addresses of their family members, all these different pieces of personal information that weren't out there, started getting spread to all these different websites, and people were putting it in TikTok comments and all kinds of crazy things like that. And it was just entirely unnecessary, man. It was pretty disgusting to watch that happen, because once again, we are talking about a 17-year-old child. Like, these people went out of their way to literally dox a kid. You know what I mean? To put their personal information out there, to potentially put them in harm's way through something like a swatting or someone delusional showing up to their house or something like that. You know, doxing is pretty serious, and it's something that should not be done, especially because you don't like someone's fucking content. Yes, that's right, folks. The reason that this doxing really happened is because, well, To put it simply, Jellybean's a little cringe, you know? Jellybean is a kid, well, a 17-year-old, but a kid still making content for children, you know? That's the designated audience, so of course the content's very childish, it's very basic. It's gonna be cringy to an adult audience because it's not aimed towards us, right? I'm not gonna watch a children's Minecraft YouTuber and be like, wow, this is riveting content, most of the time at least. And so because this 17-year-old was cringe, it was the internet's responsibility to fully dox them and harass them, being basically just assholes for the sake of being assholes, to be honest with you. And unfortunately, it never stopped there. Keep in mind, I know I'm really stressing this, but Jellybean is 17. Well, people started making Rule 34 of Jellybean, which they specifically asked people to not do, considering the fact that they're a minor, and that started getting shared around too. If you don't know what Rule 34 is, go ahead and do a quick Google search. Essentially, it's NSFW content, if you catch my drift on that one. And so that's the layman's of the situation as it's all kind of happened up until now. Unfortunately, other people who make similar content have been doxxed and have been harassed, but I think I'll do separate videos talking about those situations because while they're related, there's different information about them. There's a little bit of differences in some of this that I kind of want to talk about in a different video because truthfully, I don't want to make a 30-minute video talking about this whole subject or whatnot. So all of the doxing and the harassing and the calls of cringe and everything actually led Jellybean to taking a 2-week break away from YouTube before uploading. They also ended up privating their TikTok. So it's pretty apparent that the doxing and the harassing and everything actually scared Jellybean, as it would probably scare pretty much any rational person. I mean, being the enemy of the day to the internet is not a good thing. I mean, when people really get mad about something online, they don't really see you as a person anymore. That's the unfortunate truth, and that's the same situation that kind of really happened here. To a normal person, Jellybean is a 17-year-old girl making kids YouTube content, you know? But to people on the internet, this is a cringe lord that has done the unforgivable of making children's content, and they deserve to be handled immediately. These people do not see this as a 17-year-old who deserves to be left alone. They see this as an enemy of the internet that they need to vanquish, which is just fucking ridiculous. And look, you know, doxing in like 99.9999999 infinite 9% of situations online is just morally bankrupt. It's a very shitty thing to do, and it's just fucking ridiculous, right? Most people who become victims of doxing don't deserve it at all. If you're doxing like a world-renowned terrorist or something like that, I feel like that's a little bit different in a way, but we're talking about someone who makes cringe YouTube content. I'm not really sure where you can find the moral ground that that was an acceptable thing for these people to do, so, and look, I get it, you know, the Jellybean community was spamming things pretty much against the wishes of Jellybean in people's comments and things like that, but vigilante, quote-unquote, justice like this does nothing to solve anything. First and foremost, you're putting a child in harm's way. Second off, it doesn't really do anything to stop people from spamming these things or sharing cringe content as you see it, things like that. And it gets even more disgusting when you consider that they made Rule 34 of an actual child's character on the internet. Like, how can you argue that you're morally in the right for doxing a minor, but then at the same time you're creating Rule 34 about a child, posting it on the internet against their wishes, and leading a large harassment campaign against them because you don't like their content? Like, I don't get where the moral line gets drawn here. Cringy YouTube content? Unacceptable. Sharing people's personal information and their family's personal information, making unsolicited porn about them for the internet? All acceptable. Let's go down with that one right there. And yeah, they went as far as going for her family and sharing their information, you know, mom, dad, anything like that, right? These are people who don't even know what's going on. These are literally innocent people that probably don't even know that the content you're complaining is cringe even exists in the first place. They're living completely normal lives, you know, just trying to get through the day, and now you're sharing their personal information for anyone online to fucking harass them next because you don't like some kid's YouTube content. A child's YouTube content. And I know, I get it, I've stressed that a million times in this video, but it blows my mind that that is viewed as acceptable by these people. And unfortunately, this hate campaign in the Minecraft Shorts community has now expanded. Other people have been hit. Like, I don't know if this is just my personal experience, but at one point I was also a minor making content here on YouTube. Back in the day when I would make a cringy, shitty YouTube video of my 15-year-old self playing Call of Duty or something like that, people didn't go out of their way to harass and dox children over cringe content. They just left a fucking comment that told them to shut up and moved on. Like, it's just sad to think that the internet has evolved to think that things like this are just okay. Now, at the end of the day, man, do I like this kind of content? No. I don't find this kind of shit entertaining. I don't watch it. I don't go out of my way to interact with it really at all, but I'm not gonna sit by and condone or be silent about something like this because this is just ridiculous, man. And even though I'm a little late to the party talking about this whole subject and everything here, I do want to go ahead and say that the issue has resolved itself a little bit. The harassment has, it seems, steadily decreased ever since this whole thing happened, the doxing included. Jellybean is back to uploading normal cringe content to their channel and posting YouTube shorts and things like that. And I guess the people mad about this, who doxed and everything, are gonna move on and find their next target to be mad over. So with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about the situation involving Jellybean and everybody online, and signing out.